Hello everyone! Today we will open up the game night for Magic the Gathering, the 2019 edition. I have not had a chance to open up the very first one. All I know is that there are 5 decks in here, 5 dice of course, and it is meant as a, just a box that you can put on the shelf with these decks intact. Take it out when your friends come along and just have a good night of Magic. Right, so let us see what is in here. This box has only been released last week, I believe, November 15, as far as I know. Alright, so we have a play guide and rulebook. That's pretty neat. We see all kinds of setup, let's play, deck lists, gameplay, how to read a Magic card. Yeah, this is just basic stuff. I think this box is mostly aimed at the beginner. A glossary at the back. It's a nice booklet. It's a very nice booklet. So we have a lot of +1/+1 counters here. Life total counters for each color. On the other side, still +1/+1. It would have been nice if they added -1/-1. But that's just me. Now then, we have 5 dice. Oh wow. These are just generic dice, no symbol whatsoever. Let's see if they... Yeah, wow, nice. So for each color, just a generic die. That's pretty unique, to say the least. So let's start off with white. The deck for white. Now then, we can see a soldier token on the front here. Some stats for the deck. Glorious combat. Power up your creatures by attacking early and often. Right. Let's take a look what's in here. Alright. They are double-sided. That's pretty nice. Oh, look. The dinosaur token is unique. It has its own symbol here. Neat. Very neat. And a card with some handy steps for on your turn. So yeah, the set itself is 64 cards, and it has its own symbol and therefore its own reprints, except for 1 card in each deck. This is the High Cliff Felidar for this deck. That's a unique one. You can only get it from this deck. So let's see what it does. It's 7 mana for a Vigilance 5/5, and when it enters the battlefield for each opponent, choose a creature with the greatest power among creatures that player controls. Destroy those creatures. Very nice in this multiplayer setting. Then we have Kithion's Irregulars, originally from Magic Origins. It's a 4 mana creature for 3 with Renown 1, and for 2 tap target creature. Zetalpa from Rivals of Ixalan for 8 mana for 8, flying, double strike, vigilance, trample, indestructible. Then we have a M20 card, Loxodon Life Chanter. For 6 we get a 5/6. When it enters the battlefield, you may have your life total become the total toughness of creatures you control. And then for 6 it gains +X until end of turn, where X is your life total. Cool. Sephara Sky's Blade, for 7, a 7/7 flying lifelink. You may pay white and tap for untapped creatures you control with flying rather than pay this spell's mana cost. Then other creatures you control with flying have indestructible. Griffin Protector, I'm not going through all of the cards, just the new ones and the rares, of course. Inspiring Captain, we have a Squad Captain. Steadfast Sentry, Inspired Charge, Pacifism, Raise the Alarm, Planes, a whole bunch of planes. Right, Consul's Lieutenant. For 2, a first strike, 2/1, Renown 1. Whenever Consul's Lieutenant attacks, If it's renowned, other attacking creatures you control get +1/+1 until end of turn. It's also unique for the deck, just like Fiend, Binder. For 4, we have a 3/2, and when it attacks, tap target creature defending player controls. Patron of the Valiant, for 5, 4/4 flying, and when it enters the battlefield, put a +1/+1 counter on each creature you control with a +1/+1 counter on it. Relief Captain, for 4, we get a 3/2, and when it enters the battlefield, support 3. Step Glider for 5, 2/4 flying vigilance, and then for 2, target creature with +1/+1 counter on it gains flying and vigilance until end of turn. Topan Freeblade for 2, a 2/2 vigilance, renown 1. We have a Howling Golem for 3, 2/3. When it attacks or blocks, each player draws a card. Mighty Leap for 2, an instant. Target creature gets +2/+2 and gains flying until end of turn. Take Vengeance for 2, sorcery, destroy target tapped creature. Oh, and they put some exclusive lands in here as well, besides the regulars. And that's the white deck. Alright, so let's take a look at the blue deck now. Aerial Acrobatics. Defend yourself with spells while your creatures fly to victory. Right. Another one of these cards. Sphinx of Enlightenment. For 6, we have a flying 5/5, and when it enters the battlefield, target opponent draws a card and you draw 3 cards. Engulf the Shore for 4, an instant. Return to their owner's hands all creatures with toughness less than or equal to the number of islands you control. River's Rebuke for 6, sorcery. Return all non-land permanents target player controls to their owner's hands. Then we have an Agent of Treachery for 7. It's a 2/3 and it enters the battlefield, gain control of target permanent. Then, at the beginning of your end step, if you control 3 or more permanents you don't own, draw 3 cards. Then we have Dungeon Geists. It's a 4 mana 3/3 flying. When it enters the battlefield, tap target creature an opponent controls. It doesn't untap during its controller's untap step for as long as you control Dungeon Geists. Right, then we have an Air Elemental, Brianborn Cutthroat, Cloudkin Seer, Frostlings, Moat Piranhas, Warden of Evil's Isle, Captivating Gyre, Unsummon, Winged Words, Some Islands, Aven Windmage for 3, a 2/2 flying. When you cast an instant or sorcery spell, it gets +1/+1 until end of turn. We have a Cryptic Serpent for 7, a 6/5, and it costs 1 less for each instant and sorcery in your graveyard. Then we have a Salvager of Secrets for 5, it's a 2/2, and when it enters the battlefield, return target instant or sorcery card from your graveyard to your hand. Another Howling Golem, Claustrophobia for 3, a giant creature. When it enters the battlefield, tap target creature. It doesn't untap during its controller's untap step. Decision Paralysis for 4, it's an instant. Tap up to 2 target creatures. Those creatures don't untap during their controller's next untap step. Dramatic Reversal for 2, it's an instant. Untap all non-land permanents you control. Gale Strike for 3, an instant. Return target tapped creature to its owner's hand. Draw a card. Rise from the Tides for 6, a sorcery. Create a tapped 2/2 black zombie creature token for each instant and sorcery in your graveyard. And again, some unique lands for the set, some islands. Then we have another one of these soldiers, a unique dragon token. And the rest are zombies. Next up, let's take a look at black. We see another zombie token, of course. Endless Horde, master death as your zombie hordes overcome all obstacles. There. Alright, we start off with a Calculating Lich. For 6, it's a 5/5 menace. Whenever a creature attacks one of your opponents, that player loses 1 life. Liliana's Mastery. For 5 an enchantment, zombies you control get +1/+1. When it enters the battlefield, create 2/2 black zombie creature tokens. Hence all the zombie tokens. Torgar, the famine incarnate. For 8, a 7/6. And as an additional cost to cast this spell, you may sacrifice any number of creatures. This spell costs 2 less to cast for each creature sacrificed this way. When Torgar, famine incarnate, enters the battlefield, up to 1 target player's life total becomes half their starting life total, rounded down. Dread's Presence for 4/3/3, and when a swamp enters the battlefield under your control, choose 1. Either you draw a card and you lose 1 life, or it deals 2 damage to any target and you gain 2 life. And then we have Vilis, the Broker of Blood, for 8 and 8/8 flying, and if you pay 1 black and 2 life, target creature gets -1/-1 until end of turn. Whenever you lose life, draw that many cards. Gorging Vulture, Gravedigger, we have Sanitarium Skeleton, Undead Servant, Blood for Bones, Bone Splinters, Murder, a bunch of swamps. Then we have an Accursed Horde for 4/3/3. When you pay 2, target attacking zombie gains indestructible until end of turn. Carrion Screecher, a 3/1 for 4 with flying. Crow of Dark Tidings for 3, a 2/1 flying, and when it enters the battlefield or dies, put the top 2 cards of your library into your graveyard. Gavany Unhallowed for 4, a 2/4. Whenever another creature you control dies, put a +1/+1 counter on Gavany Unhallowed. Lord of the Accursed for 3, a 2/3. Other zombies you control get +1/+1. And then for 2 and tap, all zombies gain menace until end of turn. Staple in a lot of zombie decks. Tethered Mummy for 2, a 1/2, and when it dies, each opponent loses 2 life. Howling Golem again. A Grasp of Darkness for 2, an instant. Target creature gets -4/-4 until end of turn. And Rise from the Grave for 5, a sorcery. Put target creature card from a graveyard onto the battlefield under your control. That creature is a black zombie in addition to its other colors and types. And again, some more tokens. Then we have 3 wolves and 3 zombies, so no exclusive tokens here, except for the fact that they're double-sided. Some people like to have double-sided tokens in their collection. Then we have another unique dragon token here. Very cool. And it's also the red deck, Draconic Fury. Burn away early threats and let your dragons rule the battlefield. Alright. There it is. Okay, there we have it. Fiendish Duo, the exclusive card for the deck. For 6 we have a 5/5 first strike, and if a source would deal damage to an opponent, it deals double that damage to that player instead. A Kaum Hellkite. For 6 we have a 4/4 flying with landfall. Whenever a land enters the battlefield under your control, Akum Hellkite deals 1 damage to any target. If that land is a mountain, Akum Hellkite deals 2 damage to that permanent or player instead. Lathlis, the Dragon Queen. For 6, a 6/6 flying. Whenever another non-token dragon enters the battlefield under your control, create a 5/5 red dragon creature token with flying. And then for 2, dragons you control get +1/+0 until end of turn. Then we have a Drakuseth, Maw of Flames. It's a 7/7 for 7, it has flying, and when it attacks, it deals 4 damage to any target and 3 damage to each of up to 2 other targets. Very powerful card here. Glinthorn Buccaneer. For 3, we have a 2/4 haste, and whenever you discard a card, Glinthorn Buccaneer deals 1 damage to each opponent. For 2, discard a card, then draw a card. You can only activate it if he is attacking. Then we have a Dragon Mage, Goblin Smuggler, Kelden Raider, Pack Mastiff, Ripscale Predator, Act of Treason, Chandra's Outrage, Shock, Tectonic Rift, and some mountains. Then we have a Dragon Egg, 3 mana, 0/2 defender, and when it dies, create a 2/2 red dragon creature token with flying, and for red, this creature gets +1/+0 until end of turn. Then we have a Kargan Dragon Rider for 2, a 2/2, as long as you control a dragon, it has flying. Spark Tongue Dragon for 5, a 3/3 flying, and when it enters the battlefield, you may pay 3. When you do, it deals 3 damage to any target. Voldaren Duelist for 4, a 3/2 haste, and when it enters the battlefield, target creature can't block this turn. Then we have a Zealot of the God Pharaoh for 4, it's a 4/3, and then for 5 mana, it deals 2 damage to target opponent or planeswalker. Another Howling Golem. We have a Brute Strength for 2 an instant, target creature gets +3 and +1, and gains trample until end of turn. Destructive Tampering for 3, sorcery, choose 1, either destroy an artifact, or creatures without flying can't block this turn. Ooh, we have 2 Lightning Strikes here. For 2 mana, it's an instant, it deals 3 damage to any target. And of course, 2 exclusive mountains. Another one of the exclusive dinosaurs, 2 actually. And on the other side we have 3 dragons, so there are 2 with different backs. Alright, only one more deck to go, that's a green one. Wolf token, Massive Might, overwhelm your opponents with enormous dinosaurs. Well, that's all that it says. Alright, so the tokens are just zombies and wolves. Right, we have an Earth Shaker Giant, the exclusive for the deck. For 6, we have a 6/6 trample. When it enters the battlefield, other creatures you control get +3/+3 and gain trample until end of turn. Galta, the Primal Hunger, for 12 mana. It's a 12/12 and it costs X less to cast, where X is the total power of creatures you control. And it has trample. That's a pretty cool card, if you ask me. Ripjaw Raptor, another one of these cool dinosaurs. For 4, we get a 4/5 with Enrage. When it is dealt damage, draw a card. Voracious Hydra for 2 and X. Trample 0/1. It enters the battlefield with X +1/+1 counters on it. Then when it enters the battlefield, choose 1. Double the number of counters on Voracious Hydra. Or it fights target creature you don't control. Sweet. And we have a Wake Root Elemental for 6 mana, 5/5. Then for 5 green mana, untap target land you control, it becomes a 5/5 elemental creature with haste. It's still a land. Then we have a Ferocious Pup, Howling Giant, a Leafkin Druid, Silverback Shaman, Growth Cycle, an Overcome, Plummet, some Forests. Crested Herdcaller, 5 mana, 3/3 trample. When it enters the battlefield, you create one of those tokens, the dinosaurs tokens. Grazing Whiptail for 4, it's a 3/4 reach, another Howling Golem. Ranging Raptors for 3, a 2/3 and rage. Whenever it is dealt damage, you may search your library for basic land cards, put it onto the battlefield tapped, then shuffle your library. Thundering Spineback for 7 and 5/5. Other dinosaurs you control get +1/+1. And then for 6, create a dinosaur token. Spidery Grasp for 3. An instant. Untap target creature. It gets +2/+4 and gains reach until end of turn. Thunderherd Migration for 2. It's a sorcery. And as an addition, an additional cost to cast the spell, reveal a dinosaur card from your hand or pay 1 extra. Then search your library for a basic land card, put it onto the battlefield tapped, then shuffle your library. And 2 exclusive forests. There you have it. 5 decks in total. I think they're quite fun to play against each other. Yeah, it's just a nice way to pick up a deck and play a game of Magic every once a week or so. So, thank you all for watching and see you guys next time. Bye-bye.